Okay, so this is today's lesson. The title is Chemical Analysis of a Mother's Tears. The great 19th century scientist Michael Faraday once told his students chemical analysis of a mother's tears would reveal they contain no more than water and a trace of salt. But it is important to know that within these tears is a deep love that chemistry cannot analyze. Yeah, I think this is based on a true story. Yeah, Michael Faraday is very famous. And there's a little bit more to the story. Um, he said that chemical analysis of a mother's tears would reveal that they contain no more than water and a trace of salt. But at the same time, it's important to know that within those tears is a deep love that chemistry cannot analyze, so science cannot touch. If the students were foolish and very young students, like elementary school age, maybe they would go home and they want to analyze their mother's tears, they would do something horrible to make their mother shed tears and then collect those tears. And then if they have microscope, analyze it, and they're like, oh, it's only water and salt. Um, yeah, but actually, yeah, physically it's only water and salt. But what's behind it, mothers, many mothers, most mothers, parents generally, they want happiness for their children. That's all they wish. They want their children to find joy. And if they see the children are not happy and they're struggling in life, sometimes children go in the wrong direction. They might get caught up with substance abuse, things like that, then the mother will shed tears of sorrow, feeling maybe she um, blames herself for how she raised her children. So tears, such tears as well, looking back at her life. So there's so many emotions involved. And yeah, so none of this can be analyzed by science or chemistry because it doesn't show up in the chemical makeup of that tear. It's more about the compassion or the heart, which is intangible, uh, the heart of the mother, the compassion of the mother behind those tears. Of course, sometimes the tears can be tears of joy when the mother sees her children get accepted by university and then they graduate, or even if they don't go to college, once they get a stable job, these children become very independent and they have steady jobs, steady source of income, and they can take care of themselves. So the mother can also shed the tears of joy. So it goes either way. But at any rate, whether it's tears of joy or tears of sorrow, those tears themselves don't tell us anything about what's going on in the mind or heart of the person. So, similarly, in life, there are many things that if you just analyze it by science, it's like, oh, it's nothing. There's nothing here. But we all know behind it, there is so much compassion and love in many cases. And people who are able to calm the mind, to slow down the mind, and see that process that led to those tears. So they're able to see things that are unseen. For example, how much the mother struggled to raise her children properly. Uh, this is not like something tangible. It just shows the mother's compassion and wisdom. So for us to be able to trace back, that means see the cause and effect, even when the seeds planted already have transpired and we don't see them now. But when you see the harvest, you can trace it back to the seeds that were planted. So people who gain this insight by listening to the Dharma, naturally, they will have this wisdom, and this translates into a lot of joy in our hearts. If we can trace the effects back to the causes and begin to see things that are unseen, especially when it comes to all the kindness and benevolence that is bestowed upon us, if we can trace them back and realize, wow, I have been taken care of, I have been cared for such a long time. And in Buddhism, ultimately speaking, we can also trace it all the way back to the infinite great compassion of the Buddhas, who could not see us in pain and just walk away or sit still and do nothing. Once we realize that, we begin to see it's not just in everyday life. The scale becomes so grand. Even before we were born, there is a compassion that has been nurturing our mind and hearts, and also enabling us to make it to the human realm. We could have easily been born as a cat or a dog. Then we could not understand why we keep suffering. Even if we have good food and we play and have amusement, we still keep suffering. Why? Animals cannot figure that out. It's only in the human realm that we can find out the root cause of suffering, which Buddha teaches is the dark mind or avidya, and have it eliminated once and for all. So once that happens, we become so overflown with gratitude and joy that we can trace that joy back to distant past. And that's why our happiness becomes boundless. So we call it absolute happiness. So good job, everyone, for being here, practicing together, and gaining the wisdom to see things that are not necessarily so easily tangible. And today's Thursday. We're going to have the lecture style by Yuichi, reviewing all the meetups in the past 2 weeks at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, have a wonderful Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Hi. Thank you, Beta.
You're welcome, Gary.